Hi everyone, welcome back to Learning Curve Acres. I'm Marcy. Today I just wanted to take you on a quick tour of what's going on around the property, what's going on inside and outside of the house. So as you can see, I've got some shingles in my hand, little whole sheets as well as little bits. Our roof is in desperate need of repair and we've been waiting for someone to come and do it. But unfortunately the weather has not cooperated, or the gentleman's just been way too busy to get it done. So, with the windstorms we've had lately, lots of shingle has come flying off the roof, both the whole sheets and the little bits. So today I'm going to be doing a lot of that cleanup. I'd like to get it done before the storm hits. We're supposed to be getting quite the system rolling through this weekend, starting tomorrow on Saturday and right through until Monday. They're calling for upwards of 30 centimeters of snow and up to 70 millimeters of rain, as well as freezing rain and ice pellets in between that. So we've been warned we could be a couple days without power, and so we're getting all our buckets ready so that we have water for flushing toilets and washing hands and so on. We do have drinking water that is on site, ready to go, and of course, if need be, we can do some baking or some cooking on our barbecue as well as in our wood stove. One of my favorites is actually doing baked potatoes in the fireplace. So if we end up with the power going out, I might show you how to do that. But some other stuff that's going on, I have a few things coming up in the garden, though as I'm standing here, I'm watching the chickens try and dig it all out. So I'm not happy about that. I wish we could train them to just dig out the weeds. That would be so great. Leave the plants, leave the flowers, dig out the weeds. They're not that discerning, unfortunately. But as I said, we're just going to do a quick whirlwind tour of some of the stuff that's going on, and just let you know how crazy our life is right now. So it looks like I have some daffodils coming up, as well as a few crocuses. I think it's time to uncover, well, I'll wait till after the weekend, and then I'll uncover our Japanese maple. I don't want it getting damaged in the ice storm. They're telling us we'll probably lose our power up to a couple days. But some other things that are coming up, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got sedum, tons of weeds, and of course some irises are starting to pop up as well. Alright, so this is the raised bed you saw us build a few weeks ago. I've already put in 8 wheelbarrowfuls of straw with chicken manure, as well as we have a fair number of sticks and pieces of wood, lots of bark off some old trees that had been felled on the property. But this all came, oops, as I trip, from over here by the chicken coop. All this straw and mud and yuck that you see here, I have been slowly putting into those raised beds. Now you can see here where there had been a pile, it is already turning into some beautiful, rich, organic dirt. So I'm really looking forward to, hopefully our gardens will be quite nice with all that. Our ladder blew down in the last windstorm, so I got to pick that up again. But things have been kind of interesting around here. We've had lots of windstorms, lots of rain over the last few days. You can hear the muck. We did unfortunately lose her mama and her daddy to our fox that was coming around. That was back on Monday. So it had us all quite upset. So as you can see, here we have Fred. He's out in the coop now with everyone else. He's still in the cage just for his own protection while he gets used to everybody. We're also waiting for the weather to get a little nicer before we start letting him out too much. He's had a few excursions outside into the mud, but we prefer, even though his feet are healing up really well, we prefer to try and keep him inside right now until the weather warms up a little bit more and everything dries up a bit. The kale and the spinach that's growing here, you can see, are doing quite well. They're getting really big. I had fooled myself into believing when we had all that warm weather back in February that I'd be able to have at least one of my gardens filled with soil and have these out at least under a low tunnel. But the weather hasn't cooperated and I still don't have the slots filled in on the side of my beds that I can even start putting the soil in. So these are still sitting in the windowsill, but they do seem happy. I think I'm going to harvest a little bit of this spinach this weekend, maybe for some salad. I have my Bosque Blue tomatoes coming along nicely. And I also have right here a Rosa rugosa that I've actually started from seed. Okay, come on camera, focus. Hello. The camera does not want to focus on this. But maybe if I do this. Anyways, this is that rose that I was telling everybody about that I just absolutely love. It isn't the easiest thing to start from seed, but it gives you a lot of satisfaction because it is a little more difficult to get started. I don't know if it'll show you, but you can already start to, no, it's not wanting to focus and stay focused, sorry. But there are little thorns already starting to appear on it. So we've got that going. That's one of the things I'm excited about. My habanero peppers, I think, are looking quite lovely, despite the fact that they don't have the fancy grow lights that everybody else has. But they do get a fair bit of sun. Mystery pepper's looking great. That's datura. That's a purple. I believe it's a purple datura based on the color of the stem. In which case, those will be a double with purple on the outside and white on the inside. They'll be so pretty. And then we have pumpkins. I have 5 pumpkins that have come up, so I'm happy about that. The dogs will be thrilled. The chickens will be happy. And who knows, maybe I'll even get around to finally making a pumpkin pie from scratch. It has literally been over 20 years. Actually, it's been over 25 years since I did that last. So I think my husband and son are definitely deserving of that. We have some garlic in a pot that it had started to sprout, and I just threw it in the pot, so it's coming up nicely. But now I want to show you something else. So most girls get excited when their husband brings home a nice long box like this, because it usually means that there's long stemmed roses. I got excited because it meant my husband had picked up the grow lights that I had ordered. Now these are just the LED 5000K lights, but I got 2 of the 2-foot ones, and then you can see I've got 2 of the 4-footers, plus I have my shop lights that we're going to hang up here on the ceiling. And then we set up a table, which is just a plank of wood being held by 2 bar stools that we were given and we've never used because we have no bar. So we thought this will be a great place to get things started We're hoping to get these up this weekend, especially if the weather's nasty. We're not going to be going anywhere, so we'll be staying inside. It's a good inside project to do. So in here, you can see there's lots of humidity in here. But I have the barberries growing quite nicely. So these are the cabbages that we had planted. Sorry for the crinkling sound of the mylar. I have one of those security blankets or safety blankets that you get at the dollar store to use as a reflective to keep everything, the light in as much as possible. But yeah, we've got cabbage, that's the Copenhagen, and the early Jersey in there. And they're in beside my jalapenos, which I have to say the habaneros look a lot better considering the fact that they're upstairs, but I know these guys aren't in as good a light. So that's just some of the stuff we have going on right now. Hopefully we'll get these set up this weekend. But thank you so much for joining me. It's been kind of a crazy day. I showed you a lot of little things, but just an update on what's going on here at Learning Curve Acres. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care.